Good morning and welcome to the morning call for the Thursday the 30th of March 2017. Sorry I've been away for the last couple of days and I'm glad Westy sort of stepped in. I hope he was providing some fairly interesting stuff because at the moment it's a really interesting range-bound market and I think that's very clear by what's going on over my shoulder. Everybody knows very clearly that Article 50 was signed last night. We didn't actually expect any form of movement. I think if you are going to start trying to trade off what's going on around Brexit, really pencil in April 29th. That's when we get any form of comeback from the European Union where they negotiate with themselves and work out how they will work with Britain, and that is not including Britain in actually any of those formal discussions. That might be a data to have a look at, but as you can see, Euro sterling hardly moved. Have a look also at cable. It's actually shifted up ever so slightly on the back of what happened last night, and clearly there's a range there as well. Having a look also at the Aussie in terms of where I'm looking at, again, look at iron ore. You've seen Dalian futures really bounce back after hitting that bear market Thursday last week, and it's back and moving back quite quickly. But if you look at the spot price, not moving anywhere near the kind of pace. So it was 2.7 for Dalian, and you saw 0.3 of 1% for the spot price. So all very calm as well. Oil's the last one to really point out at. I'm watching very clearly on WTI whether or not it can punch through 50 US a barrel. It's touching it, it's thinking about it, but hasn't got there yet. We believe that's the next range between 46.50 or 46.80 actually, and $50 US a barrel. That's the new range that you've been seeing with WTI on the back of the sort of slowdown with what's been going on in OPEC and the fact that you've actually seen a fairly reasonable uptick in the EIA numbers and also the CAG numbers. They're clearly showing that infantry is really building in the US. So it's an interesting one. If it breaks through, that will be one place to watch very closely, that there may be some form of interest. Next 2 days also interesting. It's the last 2 days of trading before the end of the first quarter. It has been a positive quarter. It doesn't matter what you look at across the world. It's actually been pretty good for equity markets, and you therefore may see some trading around that as well as people window dress into the end of the close. So what does that bring for next week? What does that bring for the second quarter? April and May tend to be quite sort of interesting / more likely than not weaker months. On historical numbers, if you have a look at April, normally declines on average between 1% to 3% over the last 5 years, and May it's about the same. In fact, it's a little bit more. Just move that up by probably about 5 to maybe as much as 20 basis points across the board. That's something to be aware of. It certainly doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen this year, but there is growing idea that there will just be this slowdown. We are now in what we call the manufacturing phase in China, and therefore the demand for bulk commodities has already probably been, and it won't probably pick up again until August. So that also is something to be aware of if you are trading the Aussie. No major data today. There is a few ex-dividends going out there, but they're tiny and small, so I'm not going to highlight them. So what I would therefore highlight, be aware in a sideways trending market, which is what we're in, there are opportunities. You just have to be nimble, and therefore don't try and break or try and be the contrarian. Just follow the trend. It tends to actually work much, much better than trying to sort of break out until you actually get a clear number on that. Talk to you tomorrow. Have a good trading day, and as ever, we are here 1-800-601-722. Thank you.